Alright, gang, I am gonna talk about this hose reel that I got maybe 8 months ago. I really like this thing. This bad boy was quite the investment. Up to this point, prior to this, I had those rubber ones that like expand and contract, and then, when it's not full of water, you can just pile it up in place and it doesn't really take up that much space. But the problem with them is they always eventually break. I've had several of them and they'll fail at some point. They'll spring a little hole and then you're just done. You can't fix it really. At least I don't find it easy to fix those. So I finally got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm tired of spending money on hoses. I'm just going to spend a little bit more to get something high quality, and then we won't have to come back to this problem. And since I want something that saves space, because it's a small backyard, I got this hose reel. So the way this works is, I'm sure you guys have seen stuff like this before online. This comes out, and this is one of the longer versions that exist. This is 155 feet. So this thing, if I wanted to, I could probably take this all the way around the house in both directions. And I actually have a few times. And when I set out to solve this hose problem, I wanted to solve all my problems. I wanted to future-proof myself, get something that's very long, just in case, because what if I want to move it someplace else? What if I want to take it to another house? And let me show you real quick. This pin comes off and you can grab it by the handle and take it someplace else. Like, we've taken this out front to use in the front yard. So this is a mobile hose reel, which is pretty cool. But let me just show you how I've got this set up. So really the best way to do this is to attach it to a wall or pole, and there was no way I was going to screw this into the stucco and stuff over here. That's just going to degrade the wall. So I elected to go into the wood of this column, and it's a little bit weird, but actually works out really well how I've got this set up. So I've got my faucet right here, my filter, and then my splitter. This goes off into my drip irrigation, which I've talked about in another video. But here's my little connector, and these are quick connects, which are a godsend if you haven't heard about these before. So I will take this, and you pull back on this little guy here, and you plug it in, and you'll hear it click, and then you want to kind of tug on it to see if it attached, because sometimes I don't attach it all the way and then it'll pop off once I've turned the water on. And now I've got my temporary connection here whenever I want to use my hose. And then when I'm done using it, I will just disconnect that and put it away. But let me show you real quick how far I can go with this, just as an example. And I love this aspect of it, that I can turn and go in that direction, or I can turn with it and go in this direction. And we're just walking and walking. And it's got a feature where, kind of like a seatbelt in a car, you can tug on it and it'll lock. So now this is the length that I've got to work with. And if I want to get more length, I can pull more and then do a little tug again, and now it's locked again. And sometimes when it gets really long, I have to kind of organize it on my way out to wherever I'm going. In terms of specifics about the model, this one is, here, let me take this back. One quick tip, you don't want to just let this fly back into it. You want to slowly let it roll back in. Otherwise, you could hurt yourself with it like hitting you, or you could damage the reel, and you don't want to have either of those because these things are not cheap. So this is the 155 Giraffe Tools, and I did not like the hand nozzle that came with it because it was like meant for somebody with a giant hand. I do not have a giant hand, so I traded it out at some point for this Dram one, which I really, really like, and it's got all these standard settings like a lot of hose nozzles will have these days. But I liked this one better because I didn't have to like adjust this little, the one that it came stock with had one of these, but it was hard to do with one hand. So I replaced that. So, I also have a quick connect on this right here. See? I was able to do that with one hand. It was so easy. I might not be able to put it back on with one hand. I'll put that back on later. But I've got quick connects on all of my stuff, and that's a separate product that I had to buy, but they are very, very useful for this sort of stuff. But that's my hose reel. I freaking love it. Just to show you again, you can pull this thing all the way around the house, and just for the heck of it, I have pulled the entire thing out just to see how much it was going to be, and it took me a while to pull it all the way out of the reel, and then took me a while to feed it all back in. So it's not something I utilize very often, but I wanted to have the option if I ever needed that much length, because I don't want to get another hose. I would rather have spent the money on a quality hose, and we don't have to address this problem again. Hopefully this lasts me many years. So yeah, that's my hose reel. I have only had this for 8 months, so we'll see. Maybe I'll do an update video in a year or two to see how it's holding up, see if there's anything going wrong with it. But so far, I love everything about it except for the hand nozzle that it came with. I did replace it with this one. So yeah. But yeah, all the little upgrades I put on it, like the quick connects and stuff, all of it comes together as a really elegant system that works for my haphazard style of gardening. So yeah, that's my hose reel. I will see you guys in the next one. I'll put it in the description too if you want to check it out and research for yourself. Thanks.